Sela is a teenage girl who lives in a remote forest compound belonging to a polygamist cult. The women are divided into two groups: the younger sisters, who dress in shades of blue, and the older wives, who dress in reddish tones. The group raises sheep for food and sacrificial rituals. Selah, a younger sister, goes out with a friend Tamar to wash their laundry by a waterfall and returns to their cabin to hang it. We can see other women of the cult, all engaged in their own tasks while singing joyous songs. The cult's messianic leader, Shepherd, is the only male in the group, and as she matures, Sela has become more of a focus of Shepherd's attention and appears drawn to him. At night, while the cult is gathered at the dinner table for dinner, a woman in a red dress claps her hands, causing absolute silence in the room. He thanks the wives and sisters, and inspecting one woman from the wives, says, "His Grace," and she accepts and accompanies him to the bedroom. Before going to sleep, the women and girls pray to Shepherd, thanking him for a beautiful day, and pray to him to give them their grace. With this ritual done, they go to sleep. In the morning, as each woman wakes up and goes out to perform her tasks, she thanks Shepherd, who blesses them individually. During the day, Shepherd takes the women in the middle of the forest, surrounds them with a square of wires, and delivers them his sermon. All women dressed in white. The point of the cult's isolation from the world is to cleanse themselves from the original sin and become detached from the cruelty of the world. All the women who came to Shepherd were once psychologically broken, to whom he gave shelter. Once his sermon is finished, he paints the faces of the women with the blood of the sacrificial lamb, and they all scream with joy. Later, Sela notices that Shepherd is waiting for her and sends Tamar away to talk to him alone. Shepherd mentions that Sela is beautiful, like her mother, who died giving birth to Sela. Sela asks about her mother repeatedly, but Shepherd avoids the question. One of the new wives, Eloise, talks about how Shepherd accepted her as one of the wives and promised to make her whole again. But Sela becomes jealous of the attention she's getting from Shepherd and starts berating her. Another sister, Evelyn, warns Sela that it is against the rules to be rude to the wives, but Sela attacks her, causing Evelyn to complain to her mother, who sends Sela away and orders her to deliver leftovers to a small, dark hut where menstruating females are sent because they are considered unclean. Though furious, she makes her way towards the hut and comes across an ominous dead bird being consumed by maggots. She enters the hut and comes across a woman lying in the darkness. When Sela tries to approach her, she encounters a wife, Sarah, who was banished to the hut for unspecified reasons. Sarah takes the food from Sela and says that the sleeping woman won't eat since she's fasting, and believes that menstruation is the punishment for Eve's sin. Sarah, whose chest is covered with scars, warns Sela of Shepherd's violent tendencies. When Sela calls her unclean, Sarah taunts Sela and says she is pious like her mother, but warns her that she will also experience menstruation. At night, Sela finds herself unable to sleep and notices a woman walking alone in the woods towards Shepherd's cabin, who turns on the lights and appears to be looking straight towards her as he caresses the girl. The following day, Sela is washed clean to be prepared for the sacred duty of watching over the sheep and helping the ewe give birth. The wives stress the importance of the duty. Sela, however, becomes bored and falls asleep. When she comes to, however, she finds the ewe in a birthing position, which gives birth to a monstrous lamb. She feels the blood trickle down her legs and is horrified to learn that she's menstruating, and she lets out a scream. At night, she rushes to clean the marks of the blood and tries to sleep, but finds herself unable to. Tamar asks what happened, and Sela explains that she fell asleep and a wild dog got one of the lambs. In reality, it was Sela who killed the lamb. Sela was taken to Shepherd for punishment, but Shepherd forgave her, which she considers worse than punishment since she now sees herself as impure. The following day, the ewe returns to Sela, angrily growling at her. Shepherd doesn't fail to notice this. One night, Sela overhears a police officer telling Shepherd that the group must leave. Though she tries to hide, Shepherd notices her spying on him. Shepherd announces they must leave in the morning or the wives will be taken away from him. He falls to the ground, and when the women rush towards him, he smilingly announces that he will lead the women on a journey to a new home. They joyously lift him up and carry him. Sela appears depressed about this, but Shepherd says they can always find a new home, just like they once moved here. He calls her the purest of the faith among all his children. Shepherd gathers his flock to prepare them for the journey, and they sing folk songs as they make their journey. During the journey, Shepherd keeps Sela by his side. At night, the party camps, prays, and eats. Shepherd looks with a mocking smile towards Sarah, who is among them. Sela wakes up from haunting dreams concerned with her menstruation. In the morning, the journey resumes. The party comes across an abandoned house and enters it for some rest, but Shepard forbids them from resting there, saying that it is a broken place made by broken people. The women are forced to relieve themselves openly. That night, despite the chilly weather, the women are forced to camp around the house and rely on campfires. Sela's mood continues to worsen, and she becomes jealous of Shepard, who is becoming intimate with other women. Despite Shepard's warning, Sela enters the house to stare at a photograph. One of the women Shepard was sleeping with surprises her and shows Sela the wounds he made on her neck. In the morning, Sela feels sick and hides in the forest to vomit. The ewe from earlier watches her, as does Sarah, knowing what Sela is going through. That same day in the camp, a sister discovers that Sela is going through her monthly. When she tries to cover the blood, she is forced to the back of the group with the banished wife, Sarah. Meanwhile, the older wives watch with envy as Shepard lavishes his grace on the younger sisters. Sela befriends Sarah, who explains that Shepard punished her for her vanity and cut her hair. Now he refers to her as a broken thing. She continues to remark how Sela looks a lot like her mother. When Sela asks about her mother, Sarah explains that she and Sela's mom were Shepard's first two wives and joined the flock at the same time. Sarah says that Shepard's attention eventually starts to burn, and Sela accuses her of being jealous of him. Sarah admits that she was initially jealous of Sela's mother, to which Sela replies that Sarah must have been happy when she died in childbirth. Sarah tells Sela that her mother did not die in childbirth, but instead contracted an infection a few days afterward and died of sepsis because Shepard would not take her to the hospital, considering the disease a test of their faith. When Sela sees a car driving on the road, she has a fantasy of herself inside it, dressed as a normal teenager. However, the fantasy is shattered when she sees her actual self outside. During the arduous journey, Sela begins to doubt Shepard's judgment. One night, one of the pregnant wives makes Sela jealous by showing her pregnant stomach, and Shepard gives Sela the same mocking smile he gives Sarah. That night, Sarah tells Sela that she can't stay with her forever, as Shepard counts the days of menstruation and knows when they will get out of it. But Sela no longer has faith in Shepard. Sarah explains how she sought freedom from Shepard even when she was a favored wife. When asked why she had stayed, Sarah replied that she had nowhere else to go. That night, Sela has a nightmare of Shepard punishing Sarah. Once her monthly ends, Sela joins the flock, and Shepard insists that Sarah is a broken thing. During the strenuous hike, one of the pregnant wives goes into labor, but she grows paranoid, insisting that she cannot give birth here. The other wives carry her to a safe distance where they force her to deliver the baby. However, she dies during childbirth. Shepard tells the dead wife's grieving young child to get off of the unlit funeral pyre, and when she refuses to, he forcefully plucks her and throws her to the ground. Sarah accuses Shepard of causing the woman's death and refers to him by his real name, Michael. He lights the funeral pyre, and the women pray funeral songs, but Sarah is furious at Shepard. Sela's disenchantment with Shepard continues to grow. When they resume their journey, Sarah doesn't follow, and Sela walks to her to inquire. Sarah tells Sela that she is leaving with the baby Shepard wanted to abandon in the wilderness because the baby was born wrong. Sarah reveals that Shepard wanted to abandon the healthy baby because there can only be one ram in a flock. She tells Sela that she's strong and tells her to remember it and help her sisters remember. With that, she walks away, and Sela joins the flock. During the walk, the women grow tired, and one of them asks Shepard if they've reached their location, which makes him angry. When Tamar mentions that she sees something in the distance, his fury peaks, and he begins to beat her for refusing to lead the group after announcing that she spotted a potentially promising location ahead, further eroding Sela's trust. Sela walks towards Tamar and comforts her by saying that he shouldn't have done that to her. The group arrives at a forested valley with a large lake, which Shepard declares will be their new Eden. Suddenly, the women find hope. The journey has shaken the sisters' faith, but Shepard rebaptizes the older sisters. When it's Sela's turn, she has visions of him attempting to drown her. Around the campfire, the wives decline dinner, stating they are fasting for their ritual the next day. That night, he calls Sela to his tent. Tamar warns her not to go, but she goes anyway. When she enters the tent, Shepard tells her to unbraid her hair and lie down. He compares her with her mother and advances upon Sela, but she remains detached. Shepard punishes her for this. Horrified, Sela fantasizes about the sisters killing Shepard. Despite Shepard's prohibition against telling stories, Sela tells the sisters the story of how Sarah found her freedom. The next morning, the sisters awake to find the wives missing. They go to the lake and find Shepard kneeling near the wives' robes. He tells them that the wives have ascended into a new and eternal life, and the sisters must replace them. Some sisters begin to mourn the loss of their mothers, asking Shepard where they are. But Shepard declares that Selah is his favored wife and tells her to appear before him and accept his grace. However, Selah confronts him, telling him, "You are not our shepherd," and that she doesn't want his grace. He smacks her, and she hits him back. Sometime later, police officers discover the bodies of the wives washed up on the shore of the lake. Moving further, they also discover Shepard's dead body suspended between two trees, a pair of ram's horns placed on his head like a fawn. The sisters, led by Selah, who holds a black lamb, congregate at the waterfall near their original compound, and the movie ends.